I wonder if it's loud in here. It smells pretty loud. That's okay. Hello? Let's try like this. It's what's day? It's July 14, day 3. Killing two birds at once. I'm at a kid's birthday party right now in an escape room. I wonder how loud it is. I better check. Otherwise, this could be a waste of time. I'm back. The volume's fine. I mean, it's kind of loud in the back, but hopefully there's something that can cut that down. But it's good because I often mumble, so if I mumble quietly into this, then my voice won't spike the audio here. So we'll see. Let's go. So it's June 14th. And what happened yesterday? So I finally decided, I just had the thought that I'm kind of enjoying making these videos. And I'm enjoying them, and that's the important thing. So I want to share that out so that at least I can share it. Like, first, I was like, I want to share it with people that I know that might care. But I mean, like, if you get to know me, then you might care anyway. So let's go. So yesterday, it's kind of like a processing day. I was like just editing some of these videos. I think what I realized was that the idea keeps coming together. The more that I talk about it, the more that I share about it. And I think it's interesting to me because, like, for so many years, I was just thinking about this thing in my head, just keeping it inside, and then just like constantly like editing it and changing it and adding things and all of this. And I guess maybe it's kind of like that thing when it's not observed by other people, it doesn't become real to anyone else. But then now that I put it out there and I can have this like kind of other perspectives looking at it, then I start to see kind of see it kind of come together for other people, and then that then solidifies it more for me. And it's not that like those things can't change over time. It's just it's a good starting point because after all of this time, everything that I've been like working on, the putting together, the way that I kind of live my life, um, I know it would be helpful for others. I know because it's a solution that's not purely like I'm just not telling you what to do. It's more personalized than that. That's the thing that I found really interesting about human design is that there were a lot of different personality tests, like, you know, those simple ones that you find online. Did I talk about this already? Maybe. I was really into the Enneagram for a while though. And that gave me more clarity than I had before. So it's almost like with every evolution, with every like new piece of knowledge, every new way of putting things together, the resolution increases. It's like I get to see more depth, right? So with the Enneagram, it gave like this high level kind of it gave like a high level description of a type. So my Enneagram type is 9, a peacemaker. And then exploring into the system, um, I'm just watching the party for a minute. They're playing board games and they're kids. So there's arguments and stuff. I'm trusting that they will sort it out. And if not, then but the Enneagram system, it kind of goes through like it has a lot of depth and description and it is really deep. And the thing with that is like it could be a whole lifetime of study. I love this backlighting. Could be a whole lifetime of study because there's so much nuance and then learning about all the different types and then even like within each enneagram type there's like levels of integration and disintegration, like 9 levels, and then there's movement between the types and all of this. So it was very complicated, and that's a really good thing if you want to explore and want information. And for myself, I'm a 5-1 splenic projector, so with the one line, that's the line that really looks for information and wants to go deep, going down into rabbit holes and exploring, like just wanting to know all the nuance. And it was, I guess, oftentimes I would find myself in a space where I'm like just looking and learning more about the thing rather than actually being able to use it. And with everything else that's going on, kind of like trying to do, like, not even knowing the specific direction to go and just having to first find that direction and then figuring out what it was that I had to do and then go and test it out and see if it would actually like make me feel better, or help me in whatever situation I might have been dealing with. Um, I didn't really have time for that. And it would be something that I would go and revisit from time to time. Um, as much as time allowed, time is the master. Um, so then finding all these different systems, I ended up finding human design. We have about an hour left. So when I came across human design, it was interesting because it gave me a perspective on myself um, that was different than I had ever heard. The type projector is about 20% of the population. So most people have some type of generator energy to them, which is like the consistent energy to do work. And for myself as a projector, mm, I would be operating in that. That's what like conventional wisdom kind of says, right? And that's like even if you look at like the attitudes towards rest, like if you're resting, like it's kind of like not productive time. As a projector, we don't have that consistent access to life force energy. So the non-sacral types, the projectors, manifestors, and reflectors, rest is actually an integral part of our lives. Like we really need that rest, and the rest is productive for us. And that was really different. And then the most striking thing was as I got deeper into the system, like learning more about it, it seemed like everything was always pointing back to these two things: strategy and authority. Strategy and authority. You have some kind of problem come up in your life, test your strategy and authority. You try to make a decision, strategy and authority. It's like everything, like life became a series of decisions. And then there was like a set, like, um, strategy for finding your opportunities, the things that are meant for me. And then authority, the thing that tells me if it's a yes or a no. And I found that like really easy to engage with. It was really easy to engage with, um, because it's like if I just think everything is a decision and then I go strategy and authority and test it out and then see what happens, then it's something that I can practice, right? And that was a huge shift for me, to be able to have that clarity in such a short amount of time and to be able to have such like simple steps of like, um, just repeat. It's literally two things to check in with, and then like you get into your signature and not self as kind of like indicators of what's aligned for you or not, and like being able to take that information. Uh, I loved it so much I became a human designer. And then as a reader, learning about deconditioning, when I learned about the themes of the energy centers and then how like open centers or undefined centers can take on external energies that are not ours to take on. That spoke to me so much about like how we get kind of different things put on us and feel like we have to act a certain way or do things from a certain way because like we've been conditioned with this energy, kind of like lived for so long operating in that way, trying to push and move energy through us in that way, but knowing now that it's not meant for us really helps kind of change the approach to uh, like personal growth or transformation, or even like looking at traumas. Because it's like, if I think of it in energetic terms, then if I, when I tie in like hypnosis and like that way of accessing the unconscious, like we don't consciously know how we're moving energy through. It's all this unconscious process. So the more that we can engage with like the unconscious to do that work, the better. But then again, if you just go in with hypnosis and the unconscious mind only, and you don't have these themes that you're exploring, and you don't have that the ability to self reflect, you may just be thinking that you have a problem and trying to solve that, but it's not actually the problem, or maybe it's not the root cause of the problem. So then, like hypnosis by itself, when I learned it, it was amazing. It was like magic to be able to help like shift perspectives and shift mindsets and get past limiting beliefs for myself and for other people was wild. I got some interesting stories about that that maybe I'll share it another time. Uh, because that would be fun. But like using like hypnosis by itself, there was that exploration. It really had to like part of good hypnotic work is to be able to like understand the context around what you're doing or knowing how to guide the client or the subject um, to understand that for themselves. And again, if you have that issue with like self-reflection and you don't really know about yourself or know how to look at yourself, or you're not able to be honest with yourself, then that's all challenging. So then when these themes and challenges are put in front of you and you see them and you look on this page or on the screen and you're like I feel this so deeply, but I've never expressed it before. And that just kind of hits different. Like, oh, like this is something that I need to look at. And then combining that with hypnosis to be able to move past these things in short order, it's like there's always more things to work on and do, right? Like whatever level that you're at right now, whatever level that you feel like you're stuck at, it's just a stopping point. It's just a waypoint in your journey. In a year from now, in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, you're going to be so far past where you are if you make that choice to do. Because it's easy to get to some point in your life, right? You work through, um, you work, you go to school, you learn, you get a job, and then you kind of like plateau. And if you get stuck there, it's easy to get stuck there. You could live the rest of your life there. There's nothing wrong with that. But then when you move past that plateau and realize that, okay, like this feeling of stuckness is not my natural state. It's like it's a game of constant expansion. There's always more beyond. So then being able to get past that plateau, get move beyond where you're stuck, that's the challenge. And when you start to do that, the more that you do that, the easier it gets to do that. And then it becomes just like a way of approaching life. You're just approaching life with this constant growth mindset. They talk about that in my kids' school. Um, it's like, are you in a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? And that's not just for learning. That's not just for school. That's literally for life. If you're moving through life with a fixed mindset, then you will live a fixed life. You'll get to a point and you'll stop there. They say it's never too late. And it's true. You look at all the quote unquote people that become successful. It happens all at different times. There's like, of course, people get successful really young, child stars, and all of this, and it's like that's a whole like way to leave your life. And then there's like the usual path where like you kind of like work through, And then you might achieve success by getting that job that you want after you graduate from university or whatever, and to be satisfied with that, and then live your life kind of like pining for the glory days. Or you kind of like move through, and then it's more of a slow build. You may have some successes. Like I had some success. I found, I worked in a profession, able to help lots of people, do a lot of good things. And then like I got to a point where I felt kind of stuck. Like, is this really what I wanted to do? So like once I moved beyond that, it was like this whole other world. And I think like everything that kind of fed into this, like the hypnosis training, human design, all of that. But then even like the way that the whole profession was shifting, kind of led to all the events that happened. And the night I got out, I was put into an unstable position and I had to find my own footing. And then I could realize that the footing that I found, I could always change that anytime. So then, like staying in that growth mindset, like mode, is important, right? Because that's how you become limitless. Like sounds super corny, and it's not like we're gonna expand the limits of everything and start flying and things like that. But like literally, like your life can change. Your life can continue to grow and grow and grow as long as you have that mindset. All of those kind of like one-off statements of like what you like, you, you can have whatever you think you can have type of idea. It's literally true. It's more true than you know. So that's why I'm excited to build this, because it's giving me an ability to kind of like put all of these things together and then share it out with people like you, and then get that feedback of like whether it's helpful or not. And I know that it's helpful because the people that I've shared this with up until this point, in all the various forms and places and spaces that I ended up in, um, they found it helpful too. Simple as that. So then it's taking information that's interesting and simple and applicable and then making it real in your own life. Like that's what this is about that deep personal transformation. Oh, okay. It's fine.